So we're going to be meeting in here. Jesse, just have a seat. Mike, thanks so much for agreeing to meet with Jesse and myself today.
Oh, no problem. How's the move going, Jesse?
It's going. I've been looking at a few places. Hopefully I'll get approved for one of them.
Well, I hope so. So what are we doing here today?
So, as we discussed on the phone, Mike, the reason we asked to meet with you today was to talk about the details of Jesse's upcoming move. As you are aware, moving can be overwhelming, and so Jesse asked me to help her to come up with a list of what the things are in writing, the things that you are expecting of her and the things that she's expecting of you, just so there can be no surprises for either of you. How does that sound?
Good. Let's do it.
Great. These conversations tend to typically last about 60 to 90 minutes, so do either of you have any time constraints?
Well, I have to be at my job at 12, so finishing around 11:30 would be good.
And how about you, Mike?
Well, hopefully it won't take that long, but yeah, I can stay if necessary.
Okay. A couple of other things, and that is confidentiality and common courtesy. In terms of confidentiality, we find that people are more likely to be open and honest if they know what's said here won't get repeated elsewhere. So can you both agree to confidentiality?
Well, that's fine.
Sure.
Okay, and then the second is what we refer to as common courtesy. What we would ask is that you not talk over each other or make derogatory comments about the other person or their intentions. Is that something you can also agree to?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, you bet.
Great. So Jessie has a list of things that she'd like to talk about. Jessie, would you like to begin?
Yeah. First, I'd like to say how much I appreciate living here. You've always taken good care of the place, and if anything needed to be repaired, you got right on it.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. You've been a good tenant. I've had no complaints about it from the other tenants. But it's just that maintenance costs keep going up and up and up, and I've just had to charge a higher rent to everybody whose lease came up. Nothing personal.
No, I get it. You have your own bills to pay. But there's just no way I can afford to stay. As much as I hate to pack up and move, there just doesn't seem to be any other option for me.
So it sounds like this rental arrangement has been a pretty positive experience for both of you. It just comes down to finances. For you, Jessie, you can't afford to pay any more rent. And for you, Mike, you couldn't afford to charge any less and still cover your expenses. So it's been difficult for both of you.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, even though I'm actively looking, I'm worried I won't be able to find a place and move into it by the end of the month. Is there any chance I could have an extra week or two if the process takes a little longer?
I do need the extra rental income, but I could charge you at the new rate for an extra couple of weeks until you move out.
Well, I think I could do that. That would be helpful.
I do need to get the place rented right away. So can you keep it neat and tidy?
Well, I can keep it clean, but I'm trying to pack up as well.
Well, most of the people are coming in on Saturday. Could you just be out of the way on Saturday? That's when I want to show the apartment.
I don't know. It seems like a bit much.
Now look, I'm doing you a favor. Just you being gone for one day on the weekend. Is that too much to ask?
So let me be clear about what you two agree about and what you disagree about. As I understand it, for you, Mike, the most important thing is the appearance of the apartment when people come to see it. Mm-hmm. Jessie, I hear you say that you are committed to keep the apartment clean. So it sounds like you both agree on that. In addition, Mike, I hear that you think it would be easier if Jessie were out of the apartment on Saturday when you expect most of the tenants to come to see it.
Absolutely. That's perfectly reasonable.
And yet, Jessie, you had not planned on being out of the apartment. And so for you, it might not be that easy for you to arrange.
I'm paying the higher rent so that I can have extra time to move. Why should I pay if I'm not getting the extra time?
So for you, it's less about the inconvenience of spending the day out of the apartment. It sounds like it's more about paying rent when you're being asked to be out of the apartment the whole day. So for you, is it really more about finances?
Well, yeah, it just doesn't seem right to me.
So what ideas do either of you have that could make this work?
Well, I suppose in exchange for Jessie being out of the apartment from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, I can extend her tenancy by 1 day and at no extra charge. Will that work for you?
That would be a lot better.
Well, it'll make it a lot easier for me to show the place.
So let me see if I understand. Jessie, you've offered to be out of the apartment on Saturday. And Mike, you've agreed to let Jessie stay an extra day at no extra charge.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. It seems like you've reached an agreement that works well for both of you. Now, Mike, is there anything else about Jessie's move that you'd like to talk about?
I need to do a final walkthrough inspection. Make sure there's no damage to the apartment.
I'm totally open to that. I've been super careful, so there should be no damages.
Good.
So was there anything else that you wanted to ask about Jessie?
Oh, yeah. I want to be sure that you won't file eviction paperwork in the court if I agree to all this.
As long as you follow through on these commitments, I have no plans to file eviction paperwork.
And what if something unexpected happens, Mike? Would you be willing to come to another meeting like this
Well, hopefully it won't come to that. But yeah, I'd agree to that.
That's great. Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
So here's a list of everything that we've discussed. Please look it over and sign if it describes what you've both agreed to do. Congratulations. Best of luck in your housing search, and thank you so much for your flexibility. I'll be calling both of you next week just to check on how it's going.